Everybody. I am so sorry we're starting late. You know how technology is, so about 15 minutes ago, I went to log in, and Webinar Jam and Google made a change in the last 2 days since I've used Webinar Jam. They've made a change, and I've had to go through a bunch of hoops to get this started, so I apologize for being frazzled and for getting this started late today. So today we're going to be talking about pages. And I really like about pages, and when I go to sites, it is one of the first places I like to visit, especially if I'm trying to get to know that person or a little bit about their company or whatever. I really like to go to About Pages. And on my last computer, on my PC, you know, the one that crashed where I lost everything, I actually had several About Pages that I had bookmarked. And I really like to keep a hold of those because when I was creating an About page or whatever, I like to be able to refer to those. So I would love it if while we're talking about pages that you guys would share in the chat and let me know. Let me turn on the chat. I don't think it's enabled. There we go. Now the chat is on. You guys can go ahead and post in the chat. I would love to know more about your About pages if you want to share yours or if there's one that you find interesting. I would love to hear about your About pages. And also I want to be sure and welcome Tanner, who's helping me today. And I appreciate his help. And so if you have any questions or anything, he's going to be interrupting me so we can get your questions answered. So it's pretty basic today about pages. So hopefully you will enjoy this. I will go ahead and just quickly share my screen. I actually have been working on, and you guys, I have a lot of windows open right now. I apologize. My computer is totally full of windows. So Tanner, let me know if you can see that. I need to put my headphones in, or I guess I don't really have to put my headphones in. Can you see it, Tanner?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. So I've been working on my About page on my Coach with Sheila site, and you guys are welcome to go and take a look. I would love to have your feedback about my About page because as I was studying about pages, I realized that mine might be a little bit long. And so one of my questions that I would really like to discuss with you guys is, do you like to hear about the company or about the person when you go to an About page? And so that's one thing that I want to go ahead and be sure and talk about. And like I said, I have got so many things open here, you guys. I apologize. So let's go ahead and start talking about what we're going to be covering today, the 7 mistakes and the 4 changes. Basically, that's what we're going to be talking about. But what I'd really like to hear from you is I'd like for you to share with me any About pages that you like, or if you'd like to share your About page, I would love to see that as well. But I'd like to know what you think. Do you want to know about the company or about the person behind the company or the team or whatever behind the company? Because as I was studying this, probably about 90% of the articles said one thing and 10% said the other, and I tend to agree with the 10%. And so I'm curious to know what you guys think, so I'd love to hear that. So what we're going to cover today, like I've said, is the 7 mistakes you might be making on your About page and the 4 changes that you should make to make your About page better. And these are things that I need help with as well, something we all need to be working on. So this quote is from Ramsey Taplin, who is the blog tyrant. And if you go to his site, it's called The Blog Tyrant. It's funny because I'm not a big fan of his About page, but he has a great article about pages. And so what he says is normally they're boring, self-serving mix of me, and us. I know that you guys think of that song, that country song, you know, it's all about me. But they are so vital to your business. In fact, it's usually the first place people look before they start to take you seriously and get it. And if you get it wrong, you could be turning people off without even knowing it. And this is true. I've gone to About pages before, And as I was looking through the About page, I decided that that was not a person I wanted to work with. I found that they were boring, or they didn't, it was all about the company, and I didn't find anything really interesting. I didn't find any way that they could help me. So certainly an About page in the past for me, I'd love to know if it has for you as well, has turned me off of a company where I have not been interested in working with them just by looking at their About page. So let's find out if you're making these 7 mistakes. So the first mistake is that you don't even have an About page. Now, have you ever been to a site and you wanted to know more about either the company or the person, whichever one? Did you ever go to the site and find out, or not be able to find the About page, or maybe it was called something different, or maybe you got there and it was just a big long sales page instead of, information about the person or company that you were trying to find out more about. So if you don't have one at all, that's even worse than anything else. So you definitely need to have an About page. According to Copyblogger, it is the #1 page that every site needs to have. And according to ProBlogger, they say that just, don't try and calling it something different. Go ahead and just call it an About page, or about, or you could call it by your name, or Get to Know Me, or something like that. But it needs to be something that people will know right away that if they go to that page, they're going to find out more about you or about your company. But it's really, really hugely important page, and so you definitely want to have your About page. So let's see. Also, Sonia Simone of Copyblogger says, lots of website owners have an easier time proposing marriage than they do writing a solid About page. So that I totally believe this, because I believe that writing an About page is definitely tricky and difficult. You want to reach out and touch the people that are learning more about you. You want it to be clever. You want it to be interesting. And so it definitely needs to resonate with the people that you want to serve and provide services to. So you definitely want to have that About page and make it compelling. Mistake number 2 is we don't even know who you are. So have you ever been to an About page and like the first line says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so," and maybe they don't tell you their last name, or they don't tell you what they do, or they don't tell you even their name at all. I have literally been to an About page before, and I did not know who the person was. So basically, you want to introduce yourself. You need to tell the people your name. It's like as if you were saying, if you were introducing your friend, this is so-and-so. And you can write it in the third person, first person, however you want to write it, but it's basically an introduction to you. So it's important. Now, granted, if you have a website like that's your name, like mine, SheilaJDavis.com, you don't necessarily have to say, "Hi, I'm Sheila J. Davis," but think about this. If people don't know who Sheila J. Davis is and they see a picture, for all they know, this person could be me. So you really do need to try and make that as clear as you can on your page. And this is a mistake I actually realized that I made on my About page as I was creating, is I don't actually ever say who I am, which is kind of funny because I was studying for this class. Also, what if we can't find you on your page? So have you ever been to an About page and you literally could not find a picture? Like, one of the reasons I go to About pages is to see pictures, right? So that's like one of the places you want to see the people who you're working with. You want to find out more about them. You want to find out maybe if the building they're in, if it's a company or whatever. But when you go to an About page and you can't find any pictures and we can't find the person who's actually speaking, I just find that not as helpful. I would love to be able to go to an About page and learn more about the person I'm trying to research, right? So be sure that you're doing that as well, that you're making sure that you have a picture of you, that you have videos of you. If you have a video, make sure it's short. You guys, let's not have like 20-minute videos, but making sure that your name is on there, that you've got images, that you're telling us who you are, and that you're speaking to us as if we were having a conversation too. So when I get to your About page, I want to find more about you. So what do you think, guys? When you go to an About page, do you want to know about the company or the person behind the company. Now, this is really 90% of the information that I've read, and a lot of the sites that I've gone to say that when you go to an about page, you basically are going to be going to a sales page. That you're going to be saying what I can do for you, why you should hire me, more about the company. Let me see if I can find in my notes. There was this one thing that somebody said that I thought was really interesting, but it basically, so it says, let's see, blah, 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 using your video. Okay, so I can't find the little note, but there was, everywhere I went, it said that you needed to go to this about page to find out about the company, about their services, about what they do for you, about how awesome they are, about their testimonials, about their clients, and blah, 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 blah. And for my personal opinion, now, I mean, if I'm going to Coke, right, if the Coke, because, I like to talk about Coke. If I go to Coke or Pepsi or McDonald's or something like that, it may not be going specifically to find out about the CEO of Coke, but I sure would like to know about the history of the company. But I don't certainly go to an about page to be sold to. That's just my opinion, so I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you like to go to an about page and get sold to? I'm really surprised at how many articles I read, and I probably read 15 articles, you guys, planning this class, and 90% of them said that the about page should be basically a sales page. So I'm struggling with that, and I'd love to know what you guys think when you go to an about page. What is it that you are looking for? Tanner, if there's comments, go ahead and just interrupt me and share them with me. I'd love to know what you guys think.
Okay, there's actually quite a few comments.
Oh, I would love it. Share with me.
Let's see. Pam said if it's a larger company, I like to hear about the company. If it's a 1 or 2 person business, I like to hear a little bit about the people and a little about the business. I also like to read about their mission, how they like to work with clients and customers. Needs to have a picture of the owners.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you guys like to know? I'm going to go look, after we're done with this, and I'm going to see if we can actually see a picture of the owner of Coke. I'm curious to see, because, I would kind of like to see maybe a little bit of the history, the very person who came up with it, and a little bit about the company. You're right, Pam, it's totally right. If it's a big company, you're definitely wanting information about the company, but you still want to know who the people are behind it, right? So what other comments do we have, Tanner?
Sherry said something else I've seen on an about page is a person's name, but the image is a stock photo of a person that's not them.
Oh, right. Does that kill you? That kills me. That has happened to me before. Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, that's not cool. That's a great comment, Sherry. Go ahead, Tanner.
And then Becky also said, I want to know about the person I'll be dealing with. And Sherry's said, every company is started by someone, and I want to know something. I want to know about them and then about the company.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind
You
of
guys,
in that order.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that you guys kind of feel the same way. I don't go to an about page to get sold to. I mean, it's the word, right? It's funny because Copyblogger actually said, don't change the word, don't try and play with it, just call it about. And then they said that it basically should be a sales page. And I thought, well, that just kind of contradicts. Why would you go to an about page? It should just be called sales page if you're going to hear a sales pitch, right? You guys are awesome. These are great comments. Tanner, were there any other comments?
There's a few more, actually. Just it looks like 2. They keep coming up with something, so it's great.
Awesome. Yeah, this is great, you guys. Keep them coming.
Marie said, I do think people get confused about the About Me page being a sales page. It should be a mix of who you are and how your skills can help them, but not too salesy.
Exactly. You do need to talk about your skills and how you can help them, and I'm going to be talking about that in the 4 things that you should change. We're going to keep that one in mind, Marie. That's a good one. Okay, Tanner, go ahead.
And then Sherry said about page should be about who you're dealing with. The rest of the site is for selling.
Exactly. Oh, I'm so relieved, you guys. We need to write our own little blog post and send it to Copyblogger and say, guys, when we go, we're going to learn about, not be sold to. Perfect. All right, any more comments?
Doesn't look like there's any more. If I missed any, people should tell me.
Okay, yeah, let us know if we missed any. These are great comments. You guys are awesome. So I'm glad that my presentation is basically going to be talking to you about making an about page that's enjoyable, that people will really like to go see. It really is one of the top visited page, even on the network page, on the Elevate. Well, I don't have an about page on the Elevate page, but on all of the sites I've ever created, my about page is definitely in the two places that people land. So with number 4 mistake is we need to make sure that they're not boring, right? This is the page where you don't sell. If we're not part of the 90%, we don't sell. We don't have to think. I have a quote for you here in a second. And we just have to find out about the person behind the brand. And this is a place where you should share your story and where your prospective clients will be able to make a personal connection with you. So I like to share my story on my About page, where I was, how I got where I am. And along the way, you can be talking about your clients and how you've helped and a little bit about your skills and things like that. But I think there's a way, it sometimes is a little bit tricky, but there is a way to weave all of that in. But definitely need to be using a conversational tone, so use your own voice in your writing. Be ruthless about pruning out that corporate speak and that hypey jargon, so you don't want to sound so salesy. Don't use words that you don't normally use when you're speaking, so don't try and make it sound like you're smarter. And it's really funny that Copyblogger actually says, oh, it's not Copyblogger. Sorry, it's not Copyblogger. Where did I get this quote? I can't remember, but it's funny. They say, don't be afraid to be a dork either, if that's a part of who you are. So bring out yourself. Be a little bit funny. If you can pull off funny in writing or in a short little video, then you should definitely do it. So a lot of you actually have seen the video that I made where I talk about how I'm a mom and a virtual assistant. And I think only really the first 2 minutes are pretty interesting. The rest of it's pretty boring. It's a really long video. But some people have actually contacted me because of that video. So make it not boring. Bring out the real you in it for sure. Sonia Simone of Copyblogger also said, I'm a fan of storytelling. It pulls the reader in and engages like nothing else, and it's one of the few techniques that actually sometimes changes people's mind. So I am going to be doing, I'm thinking, I have that last class that I'm going to be doing in December for Elevate Your Biz this year, and I'm leaning more towards actually helping you guys find your story, helping you find your authentic self and which parts to share, how to know which parts to share. Telling my story has always been something that's been difficult for me because there's a lot of things that I don't want to share publicly, and a lot of things that I prefer to keep super private. And so sharing my story has always been really difficult. But there are parts of the story that are really important to share. For example, on my About page right now on Coach with Sheila, I talk specifically about how I found myself a single mom with 5 kids and how I had to go back to work. And my youngest 3 kids had never been without their mom. And so it was a really hard thing for me to go back to work. But I don't talk about all of the stuff that goes around that, but I think that little piece will engage the people who visit my page, and that's the point. I want them to realize that I understand where they are in the need of wanting to be able to work from home as I'm helping them coach and teach them how to have their online business. So be sure to tell your story so that it touches your readers, and then it won't be boring as well. The number 5 mistake that a lot of people make is that they don't update it. I would say raise your hands, but nobody can see you, but raise your hand anyway. If you have never updated your About page, I am raising both hands because I do this too. I go in and I'll update every single other page. I'll change my prices, I'll change my services, I'll change my logo, I change my brand, I'll change a lot of things, but do I really ever go in and update my About page? And I really find that I don't do that as often as I should, and maybe it's something that we need to be doing once a year, every other year. The couple of the About pages that I've read lately are kind of cute. Like they'll say, you can see that they've made edits, but it's funny, they just drew a line through like how many kids they had. So they'll say, my wife and I have 5, and there's a line through the 5, and then the number 6, then they have 6 kids or whatever. And I thought that was really funny how they updated that to show that you could see that they had updated it, but I don't know how much effort actually really went into it. So be sure and update it, put some current pictures. We need to have a new family picture because my family picture is 2 years old, but that's, you know, that's something that you could update and share with people. And as you update it and share it, that gives more traffic to your site as well. You can be like, hey, I updated my About Me page. Take a look at it. I'd love to hear your feedback. You know, maybe we have some things in common or whatever, and that'll get people to your site. Also, the number 6 mistake a lot of people make, have you ever noticed that, and you'll notice this on mine right now, like I said, I'm not done building my site yet, but you'll notice that no contact information. So usually when you go to an About page, usually there's an About page and then there's a contact page, right? But you still want to have a call to action on every single page, every single blog post, according to Derek Halpern, and it totally works, you guys. I've done it before. It's a lot of work, but if you have a contact button or a call to action on every page, you'll increase your list, you'll get more contacts, people will be able to get in touch with you. So if the only thing they do is come to your home page, click on About, read your About page, there's a call to action there for them to contact you or whatever it is that they need to do. And number 7 mistake is that you think it's all about you. So I'm going to read you a couple things here. This is interesting. So if you think the About page is all about you, this is perfectly natural even if you aren't so vain. What most site owners miss is that your About page is actually about the person who clicks the link to see it, right? So when you go and you're writing your About page, you are talking about you, but you're talking about you for the benefit of the person who's reading it. And that, I think, is the number one thing that makes it so hard. So if this list were the what makes it so hard to write an About page, this number 7 would actually be number 1. The hardest thing to do is write for other people because you're writing for them to get to know about you. So tell people how they can help, how you can help them. Be specific. Have links to products and services. I have a problem with that one, but that's what this says. Have links to products and services. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want it to be too salesy, but you do want to demonstrate that you can provide a solution. So, for example, in my sharing my story about how I was a single mom with 5 kids and how I had to go back to work, I'm sharing that I can help provide a solution that I've already experienced. So I've already experienced, you know, going to work and being gone 12 hours a day, to quitting my job, literally replacing my income overnight through the study and research that I did before I quit. And so that's part of my story, and I'm telling that as a benefit so that they can see, the people who read it can see that I have done what I'm going to tell, help them, coach them how to do themselves. And I also talk about, on my other About page on Sheila J. Davis, I actually talk about how I was able to meet some amazing people and help them do the same thing that I did in helping them to build their brand. And so it's really tricky to talk about you for someone else so that they can feel the benefit without selling salesy. If you agree, then we're all on the same page that writing the About page is definitely hard. But definitely you need to give a sense of that people can trust you and that you share some of your client stories. So it is about you, but it's really for the benefit of someone else. So that leads us right into making the 4 changes, because the number 1 change we need to make is that we do need to make it about the reader. So it's the 7th mistake. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make is that they don't make it about the reader. They make it about themselves. So we definitely need to make it more about the reader. Let me see here in my notes here. So talk to that person about why they should bother reading your site. So you're going to give them some more information. What do they need to know? You need to know, or they need to know who you admire, what you aspire to be, that you can even talk about your fears and what you cherish, what the people you embrace, the things that you like to share. It's a spot for you to talk about yourself, but only in the context of how you serve your readers. If you absolutely can't resist self-absorption, create a personal blog or a social media account and throw in a link to that. You can put all the tedious details there and warn people that there you talk about your struggles and how your cat's gluten sensitive. So that's funny, how your cat's gluten sensitive. But for your about page, keep it about the reader and know how you can help the reader. So that's the number one change, and I would say the number one biggest difficult thing that we might run into as well. Steve Krug, who is the author of Don't Make Me Think, says, don't make me think. So when you're talking about an about page, honestly, when you go to an about page, this is how I feel. I feel like it should be the most relaxing page on the site. I'm not going to be sold to. I'm not going to be pitched to. I'm just going to go read. It's basically, for me, like reading, you know, a comfortable novel. I will just, of course, don't make it a novel, but, you know, it's like casual reading, right? The About Me page is more casual reading. You don't want them to have to think as they're going through it. And usually if I don't make it past the first paragraph or two, I'm probably not going to stay on the site or work with that person, so I don't find it interesting at all. Now, Laura Roeder actually wrote 8 blog posts telling her story, her About Me story, and I read all 8 blog posts. There were no pictures, maybe one on each page, but the content was there, and it was amazing. It was so interesting, and I found it interesting in that she was able to tell her story in a way that really helped me be more drawn to her being my coach. So I'm actually a part of the Creating Fame program that she has going, and I signed up for that last month. And so Creating Fame is the coaching that I'm going to be doing for the next 12 months, and it's going to be amazing. And so I found her 8 blog post stories so compelling, and, well, the fact that I love Laura Roeder in the first place, and her newsletter, The Dash, and things like that. So you guys can look her up. It's lkrsocial.com, I think, but just look up Laura Roeder, R-O-E-D-E-R, and you can find out more about her and sign up for her weekly newsletter, The Dash. Now, she only opens up her coaching once a year, so you can't really get into the coaching, but she has lots of free stuff, and I've been doing her free stuff for like 4 years, and so everything that I read from her is really interesting. So I think that's really important on your About Me page, is that everything that is there is interesting to the people who are reading. So keep it conversational, keep it short, and we're going to be going over, and I'm going to show you some samples here in a little bit of some interesting ones. But Sonia Simone of Copy Blogger also said, stories are awesome. Long stories aren't so awesome. So try and keep it short. We don't want to have, you know, like I said, a novel, but you want it to read comfortably. You want it to not have to think. You want it to be less, not salesy and things like that. But number 3 change we need to consider is that we talk about how we can solve their problem. And through telling our story, we can tell them how we can solve their problem by either how we solved our own problem or we solved our clients' problems. But it's, you know, if you can tell that in a way where you can share how you can help solve their problem without being salesy, then that is absolutely brilliant. So definitely find a way to put into your story and into your journey what your values are, how you can help in a very comfortable reading type of way, or in a video type of way as well. And for the last one here is be authentic. So like I've said before, if we don't use big words that we wouldn't normally use in conversational tone and things like that, but the number 5 bonus is to make it simple. And so this is where I wanted to show you some samples of some about pages that I found that I thought were really interesting. There's actually one about page that I could not find again, and I can't remember the gal's name, but she had a really awesome about page that was really comfortable to read. It had different pictures of her, and it kept drawing you in more and more and more, and it just made you want to read the whole entire page. And so I wasn't even really interested in what she was selling, but her About Me page was awesome, and I can't believe I lost it in my tabs there. So let me go ahead and pull up here some of these really cool about pages that I found. Let's see if I can get to them here, if it's going to let me. Okay. All right, so this one right here, and I'll make this really big here so you guys can see it. This one is Andrew Reifman. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, but he is a graphic designer, and this is his entire about page, you guys. And don't you think this is stinking awesome? I'm thinking I need to redo my About page after seeing these because this is really cool. So just in case you can't read it, it says, "Hi, my name is Andrew Reifman." So right off the bat, we already know who he is, and we're assuming that that's a picture of him because it probably is. And it says, "I'm a graphic designer living in Washington, D.C. I like to make cool and creative designs regardless of what medium I'm working in. Facts about me," and I love this, is so simple and bullet point, and it's to the point, but it gives you some personal information too. I don't feel like I'm being sold to at all on this page. He says, "I'm a dual citizen of the USA and Brazil. Don't let the pale skin fool you. Aside from design, my other job is shooting pool. The amount of random movie knowledge I have would scare you. To this day, I still buy music on CDs and have never bought an MP3. I have been told that I have a sweet tooth for chocolate similar to a girl's, which I find awesome. And my love for steak will never allow me to become a vegetarian." So this guy's About Me page really makes you interested in working with him, and you can see that he's talented. And he also shows you his skill set in a super easy breakout here. He shows you he does 90% Photoshop, 80% Illustrator, 85% HTML, CSS, 60% JavaScript and jQuery, and 95% Poolshark. I love it. You guys, this is awesome. So it also at the bottom, in case you can't see it, it says level of skill measured in awesome. So he's 90% awesome at Photoshop and 95% awesome at Poolshark. And then you can also download his CV right here. And you can contact him. So just on this one page, can you believe it? He has done none of the 7 mistakes, and he has definitely done the top 4 things that we need to do. So we learn about him, we learn about his skills, we can get more information, we can contact him, we know his name. He says, "Be my BFF" for his contact. This is my favorite About Me page ever. So then you can also go look at his projects and find out more about his company, but super, super simple. I love this. This one, it's funny because on probably 4 or 5 of the websites I found about Me pages, this guy's page was listed in the top 5 on those pages in different sites, because everybody really loves this guy's About Me page. So I thought I would take a look at it and see. And I definitely don't find it as interesting as Andrew's, but it says, "Who is this man, dude, myth, or mega designer?" And I don't even want to try and say his last name. It's like Gimisig or something. It says, "Gimisig is a freelance web designer with satisfied clients worldwide. He has been designing websites professionally for over 8 years and is very keen on personal service. I would describe Gimisig as a spiritual, fast learner, generalist with a passion for remarkable design." And then he says, "That's enough talking about myself in the third person." And then he goes on to speak about himself and how he's an animator and some of his experience with some of these IKEA Live. So he's done some work for some really amazing people. And this is a kind of a cool picture. So I don't know how you guys think about this, but I think this is a pretty interesting site, and obviously other people do. What's really interesting to me is all of these articles that said that your About page should be very leaning toward more like a sales page. All of the pages that they listed are not salesy. So that's really interesting. It's like they're contradicting themselves. So that's this one. Here's another one that I found that they said was super interesting that I'm not sure that I'm a huge fan of, but it is interesting that he has, "Hi, I'm Dan," and then he has holding a thing over his face, so you actually don't get to see him. But it's pretty interesting what he has to say here. He says, "I've been designing websites professionally for over 11 years. Punk U Studio. I create visually compelling and user-friendly websites to the latest standards, branding solutions, and graphic design. I'm an IT graduate of West Virginia. My communicating skills are great, and more than that, I am familiar with the financial information and managerial issues involved in online business. Recently, I have been mentioned in Smashing Magazine and Instant Shift, 2 prestigious online publications for minimal design inspiration."
Hold up.
So, go ahead.
Jackie wants to know if we can get the links in the chat for each of the pages.
Yeah. You know what? As soon as I'm done, when I go back to my screen, I will share these links with you. Yeah,
All right,
for sure,
more
Jackie.
questions?
No problem. Yeah.
Sherry wants to know if the about page should be in third or first person.
And you know that was kind of back and forth. Like that's totally up to you. I think personally, since it's about you and you're talking to your client, it should be in first person. That you should be talking as if you were talking to someone, telling them your story. If you speak in third person, it kind of takes out that personal touch. But as far as like the studying and research that I did, it really was about 50-50. It's just entirely up to you and how it reflects on your brand. But you'll notice that most of these guys, most of these sites that we're looking at, they talk about themselves in first person. So I would say first person, but really it's up to you. But the reason I would say first person, like I said, is because you are trying to reach out and get that person who's reading your about page to hire you and contact you. So, but anyway, so he has his resume here and his contact information here. He doesn't have social media links or anything, but look at this. This is just a really short about me page again, which I really, really like. So I do like the layout of this. I love how it's very interesting to look at. I don't like how he doesn't have his picture here. I think that's really funny that he doesn't have his picture. So let me show you one more. This one is one of my other favorites, and I'm going to refresh the screen so you can see. This guy's also a graphic designer, which is interesting that most of these guys. So you may not be able to see this, but the ball comes bouncing in, the coffee steam is going, the guy's eyes are blinking, the little bird is kind of moving around, so the bird flies in on his shoulder and everything. And then you can find out, if you want to know, it says, if you're just curious about my story, or you just want to grab my resume, you're in the right spot. So he gives you both options. You can find his story. If you click that, he actually has drawn out his story here. In high school, I was a kid that seemed to never be paying attention, seemingly in my own world of doodles and drawings. I've had a pencil in my hand since I was in diapers. Things never change. And hellips, whatever that means. I'm no longer in diapers, though. So this guy's got a great story, and he tells his story in 3 short paragraphs with these cool pictures that obviously he drew. And then if you want to get a copy of his resume, then it takes you over to where you can see his resume, which, by the way, his resume is also pretty freaking awesome. So you can see how amazing he has made everything look. So obviously a graphic designer that you would want to be in touch with, right? Because he's got some skills there. So those are the web pages, and I'll share these with you. So this one is Joseph Payton, but I love how everything is animated on his site and everything. So then you can click over here and you can go see more about his work, about him, and Let's Talk. And so his website is pretty cool overall in general. So, and let's see. Let me go back. Let's see. I've already got my slides down. Let's go see if there's any other questions, and I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these links for you guys and share them with you. Let's see if I can find you guys again here. Stop. Okay. And my camera is so crazy. I have to be so close. Okay, so here is the first link for you, and I'll go ahead and just add these links in. Is there anybody who wants to share their About page, or maybe ask any other questions about your About page, or are there any About pages that you like? Tanner, were there any questions that we missed? I'm just going to put these links in while you guys tell me.
Actually, a few people shared their About page right off the bat, right when we started.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I'll go take a look at those. Let's take a look at some of those. Okay, so I put those links in there. Okay, I put those links in there for you. Let's see. Oh, Sherry and Lana. Let's take a look at your About pages. And you guys, I have opened up my site, Coach with Sheila. Those sites are Coach with Sheila. Okay, is still under construction, but you can go and take a look at my About page. I'd love to hear you guys give me a little feedback on that as well. And Tell me if you think that you resonate with my story. And also, my Work With Me page is working. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I only have one spot left in my VIP coaching and one spot left in my group coaching. And a lot of the people who are in the group coaching are VAs. So if you're a VA and you want to join in, that's going to be a pretty specific group coaching where it's going to be totally awesome. So if you want to hop in as a VA, that'd be great. The prices are going to be going up. At the end of this week, they're going to be going up $200 for each of the different packages. The group package, which is the Evolution Crew, and the VIP Breakthrough, which is the personalized coaching, is going to be going up each $200 starting next month. So if you want to get in and you want to coach with me for 3 months or 2 months, you can get in for that same price, because starting in January, those prices are going to go quite a bit higher. And so you want to get in right now when you can. So I'd love for you guys to come and work with me so I can help coach you. And I noticed that some of the clients who are going to be coaching with me next month are in the call today. So this is really awesome. Let me look and see.
Tracy.
Yeah, Makita. Yeah, Makita. Hi, Makita. I'm so glad you're here. She says, I'm a little late, but I've been told that the About page should start with the problem of my clients. And yeah, we talked about that at the beginning. And I think that you do need to have, so if you look at my About page on Coach with Sheila, in the slider, I do talk about the problem of my clients and how I can kind of help. And I tried to make that as soft as I can, because like we talked about before, having an About page, a lot of people say an About page should be a sales page, but honestly, I feel like an About page should be about you speaking to your client and how your client would like to hear from you. So it is kind of a sales page, but it shouldn't read like a sales page. And I know that doesn't make any sense. But seriously, everything I read, all the articles I read, said 90% of them said that it should be similar to a sales page. And then every single sample that they gave me was not a sales page, About page. It was about the person. And so I thought that was really interesting that they're like, you should really talk about your products, and you should talk about your services, and you should talk about this. And then here are the top 12 greatest About pages we've seen. And none of them were sales pages. None of them talked about sales. They had a story about the person or that kind of thing. So I find it interesting that they're kind of contradicting themselves. So think about you and your client and decide what you think your client. You could also ask your client. Did you know that you could ask your client, hey, I'm writing my About Me page. What would you love to know about me? Or I'm writing my About page. Would you like to know about my company, about my services, or about me? And think about yourself, because typically whenever we work with someone and we choose our ideal client, the people I like to work with are very similar to myself. They're action takers, they're moms, they're excited about life, they really are just gung-ho, they're going to do whatever it takes. And so if I write my About Me page for my ideal client, which I have that person in mind, what would that person want to read if they went to my About page? And I tell you, I don't think she'd want to go read a sales page. She wants to know about me, where I came from, how I got where I'm going, why I should help her, how I learned what I learned, and that kind of thing. So I just find that really interesting that they're saying they're contradicting each other. Tanner, somebody had a question?
Yeah, Tracy asks, how personal should you be on your About page?
Well, I don't think you should be really super personal. I think that telling your story, like I said, when you're telling your story, it's really hard. This is why I'm thinking that this class I do in December might be about telling your story, because you don't want people to feel uncomfortable, right? So there's a lot of dirty laundry back there, right? And I really wouldn't want to have go into big, long, great details, and I'm sure my children, Tanner, wouldn't want me to go into great details about our life. However, if you can tell the story in a way, let me just see, I've got another little note here. As I've been studying how to tell your story should resonate with your market in the biggest way possible. It should be effortless and authentically aligned with who you are and why you do what you do. So not necessarily about all the dirty laundry that you have to air or things like that. So there's a line that you remember you're speaking with people that you don't know on a personal level, but you want them to know enough about you to know that they can trust you and that they can like you and that you're a good connection with them. So I hope that answered your question, Tracy. Tanner, let me know if you think I missed the mark on that question.
Well, that sounded great.
Okay, so, and I do have some about pages here, and I don't know if you guys wanted me to read them and show them on the class. I'm happy to do that. Or if you want me just to send you maybe a little private message later of what my thoughts are, or if you want the group to talk about it. So, wow, these are some great about pages, and I haven't seen, let's see, I've got Sherry's up, and I've got VA Glad. Oh, Lana! Oh, Lana! My goodness, I can't believe you're here. This is awesome. Glad to have you. Okay, Lana and Sherry, and let's see, Marie. So you guys let me know if you wanted to share your about pages here. Like I said, mine's still under construction too, you guys. This is a really hard thing. I mean, if a guy can write a marriage proposal easier than can write about page, I don't know. I guess if we were all graphic designers, that would be cool. So Tracy says, I did answer her question. Good, I'm so glad. So yeah, tell your story, but don't make it too personal, and talk to somebody like as if you were talking to them just in the room about what you do and why you like to do it. Your 4-second elevator pitch. I help busy moms create online businesses so that they don't have to choose between work and family, and they get to have freedom and do the things that they want and be with their family. Is basically what your about page is, and it's how you got where you are, why you're there, why you made the choices that you made, and a little bit of your story. So that's all I have. I didn't hear to know if you guys wanted me to talk about your about pages on the air for everybody to see, because this is public, or, hi Lena, or if you wanted to see there's just a huge delay, or if you wanted me just to send you a message. But I think that these 3 about pages look great. Let's see. Gladiator, VA, and Marie. So, oh, Lana says we can share her. So let's share. Let me share my screen with you. And Tanner, let me know if Marie and Sherry get on and say. Let's see. So, okay, so Tanner, can you see this? This is Lana.
Yeah, I can see it.
Great. So, Lana, your about page has got some beautiful pictures of you on here. We know this is you. It says, working as a VA opened a whole new world for me in terms of my purpose. I have been helping my husband run a small e-commerce business for years, and suddenly I realized there are so many more people who only want to do what they're passionate about. The administrative, the policy, the procedure creation, the marketing, the customer relations, you all know the stuff you can have to do if you want your business to thrive. Well, that's my sweet spot. One day as I sat in a fraternal conference and listened to updates from the attendees, one woman said she was starting a fraternal tips and tools publication. It piqued my interest and I wanted to know more, but since I really didn't have room on my plate for another hobby, I filled it in the recesses of my mind. And so then she goes on to talk about her family. She talks about a Facebook posting. So, this is a great About Me page, and I would sit and read the whole thing. I absolutely would. My question is, so you're the VA Gladiator. So I would say just one little thing is that I'm not sure. Maybe if there was just a little bit of something about your client. Who do you like to help? I'm no response for, and I know Lana a little bit. We've worked together a little bit, and I know that Lana is super organized and super smart. So, she says here, I'm like Olivia Pope from Scandal. I'm a gladiator. I come in my white hat because I look cute in my hat many times and find people working. You know what? This is a great line. It could be moved up to the top. So really, we need to have something that's going to really grab our attention, and maybe using some different sizes, fonts, and things like that. But I think it's a really great About page, Lana. And you have your Visita down here where we can contact you, which is awesome and perfect. And then you have your social media. So I think it looks great. Good job, Lana. Okay. Let's see.
Marie and
Sherry
Sherry
says,
said, yeah.
okay, they both said it's all right. Okay. So Sherry, Suit Your Target. This is Sherry's site. Sherry is one of my VAs on my network. Suit Your Target was founded in Oshawa, Ontario. So you're in Canada. I grew up in a family of self-employed parents, which instilled in her passion and hunger to help small business succeed. Many of her mother. Okay, so Sherry talks about herself in the third person here. And she got 2 diplomas. That's awesome. And here's a little quote from her. I'm driven to output quality that positively benefits and adds value to a client's business reputation and bottom line. Looks great. Learn more about the services and get connected. So great, you've got your contact and you've got some services there, a couple of quotes. I think it looks great, Sherry. Got your social media icons up here. Yeah, so that looks great, I think. And here you've got testimonials, so you've got a little bit of everything on there too. As far as like I can't see any really big, huge mistakes here. It's, you know, to the point. It says what you like to do. You know, saying that if you grow up with self-employed parents, you really do learn something quite a bit different than people whose parents work out of the home. I know I wish that, you know, if my parents had been stay-at-home, or I mean, self-employed parents, I would have learned a lot more, I think. So I have training over 5 years experience with social media, email marketing, online research, and exceptional problem-solving skills along with relentless learning of trends and practices, and Sherry is a definite asset to her clients. Excellent. So, yeah, you know, I'm seeing here too that, and I'm wondering about this on my site as well, is that you know, if there's a way that what do you guys think about having something on your about page that talks about the type of client you like to work with? I think if right at the beginning, you know how Makita said that she's heard people say that you should talk to your clients in the first line. I'm kind of thinking that in the way that you can do that is to somehow make sure that the person who's contacting you knows that this is the type of client I like to work with. Does that make sense? I'm curious about that. So let's take a look at Marie's. There's cute Marie. Marie's one of my VAs as well, and I met in Boston in September. She's a sweetheart. Hi, I'm Marie. Very good. I'm a virtual business professional, and I'm here to help you with your business systems, administrative tasks, social media management, and blogging. So right off, I'm going to give you the dirt. I'm going to lay down my imperfections. Hey, come on, we all have them, and my rock star traits. Awesome. So she really dives right into her story, and we already know right off in the front line, see how she can say that she's here to help you with business systems, administrative tasks, etc., without taking away from her story, without making it sound salesy at all. It does not sound salesy at all. So this is brilliant. And then she says, you know, that she's a mom and animal lover, and that you can reach her by clicking the social media images that are just right up here at the top, and that she would love to hear from you. So I think it looks great, Marie. I love how she, you know, it says right here, it's wicked exciting. That really catches my attention there. It's right by her picture. So yeah, I think this is great, Marie. You've changed your website. It looks beautiful. I haven't seen the new you. It looks fantastic. I love the new look. And it says about Marie. So you know, you guys have it going on. I don't know how much more I can offer. I think you guys are doing great. So, you know, just telling your story and letting people know who you are and how you're doing and how you can help. But I do think now, after all of this research, and especially looking at these other, you know, because I know Lana Marie and Sherry, that my question would be, who do you like to serve? I think it's important that your about page says who you like to serve. What do you guys think? I think that's important. So let's look and see. Any questions? Let's see. Yeah, let's see. That's something my branding coach recommended. I need to update it to include that. I'm not sure, Lana, what you were talking about, but oh, like the different font sizes probably. And the plugin, yeah, VCETA. Lana put that in there. So, and Marie is blushing apparently. So you're welcome, Sherry. And you guys are awesome. I think you guys might know, about pages. Really think about it. Is there a definite yes or a definite no? And I guess, it's the same with all websites, right? Because pretty much any page that you talk about, if you go and research and say, what should I have on my homepage, you're going to get 5,000 different ideas. So really, if you know your ideal client, how did your ideal client attracted to you? Why would they want to hire you? What would they want to know about you to make you trust them? How would you talk to them to have them trust you and hire you? That's what you need to have on your About page. And I don't think there's any specific hard rules on what you definitely need to do and definitely don't need to do, because it's going to be different for each client. And like I said, all the articles contradict themselves. They say you should have this, and then the samples that they show that they think are their favorite don't have that. So I find that interesting. All right, so that's okay, Marie. Marie says she's actually at work right now. I'm surprised she's even listening, and so she says she's going to have to get to the comments later, and that's totally fine, Marie. I understand. And Sherry says, the niche is a work in progress. It definitely is, and I set up mentoring session with you. I know, I saw that, Sherry. So we're talking on the 26th of November, and that's awesome. I'm really excited to help you with your 90-day plan. So anybody who wants to join up with the Coaching with Sheila, just go to coachwithsheila.com, and you can see my About page there, and I would love to have your feedback. Send me an email. However you want to get a hold of me. I don't have the contact information on there yet. I'm still building my site. I took down the Coming Soon page just for this Hangout today, and also the Work With Me page does have the information there. You can sign up. I really hope to fill up those last 2 spots before the end of today. Would be awesome, you guys. And also, just one more thing. I'm going to put in here a chat. Elevate Your Online Biz. Dawn and I are starting Elevate Your Online Biz, and we are looking for some feedback, and we would love to hear from you guys. The link is in the chat. Elevate Your Online Biz. It's just a quick 5-question survey where we want to find out about your marketing and branding and online business struggles and things like that, and we would love to hear from you. So, and I would love to have you part of my coaching program. I know I can help you, especially if you're a virtual assistant or a real estate virtual assistant. And so I hope that you guys will come and join me on my coaching program. I just have 1 spot in both programs left, so I'd love to have you join me. And hopefully that answers everybody's questions, and you guys had a great time. You guys are awesome, and I will chat with you guys later. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.